Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star original continent based on novel. So let's start. On Redbud Island. Look. Luo Feng showed up, and he's flying toward the square in front of the palace of the island owner. Two undying fighters of the demon race were chatting in one of the palaces, but they stared at Luo Feng, who was flying in the distance. Their task was to monitor his every move. After a short while, Luo Feng went into the water curtain and disappeared, and the two undying fighters began reporting. Expression, smile. Wearing, silver armor. They checked each other's notes before they made a detailed report. The undying fighter with a grey shell on his back said in a hoarse voice, "It's been so many years, and all the powers in the universe know that our race, the bug race, and the automaton race want to kill that Luo Feng. However, nothing's happened. We all know Luo Feng has the power of a top-tier universe overlord. If we don't do it quickly, we won't be able to do anything if he becomes a universe master. We can't blame our race. Luo Feng's been hiding on Redbud Island. What can we do about it?" A black eye was staring at the square. Strange. Why is Luo Feng still at the 5th level on the Beast God path? The ranking was clear on Redbud Island. All those at the 3rd level of the Beast God path were in the same ranking, and all those at the 4th level were at the same ranking. Luo Feng had entered the 5th level 62 years ago. Apparently, he was still practicing the 5th level on Beast God path. It made him look powerful, but a top-tier universe overlord needed to be at least at the 7th level. Stupid. He's at the 5th level on the Beast God path. Do you know how much he has achieved on the path of space and time? Perhaps he's almost finished it and become a universe master. Makes sense. But how did he improve so much in such a short time? Who knows? But if he didn't, there's no need to kill him now. Look, he came out. The two undying fighters of the demon race stared at Luo Feng and kept monitoring every one of his moves. They might be able to extrapolate some important information based on the messages on the surface. Luo Feng was flying back to his palace. At least 100 candidates are spying on me, thought Luo Feng with a smirk. All the candidates from other powers wrote. Luo Feng smirked at someone. I might be able to complete the 5th level after a year or two. It only took him half a month to complete the 4th level, which represented Beast God Claw. However, the 5th level represented Beast God Horn, which was more intricate, and hence, it took more time. Luo Feng went to the land of inheritance every 2 or 3 months. After 62 years, he almost finished the 5th level. Besides, advancing on the path of Beast God also made it easier for Luo Feng to create techniques using engraving pictures, and he even got inspirations when studying Star Tower and created a pinnacle technique of Universe Masters and an ultimate technique of Universe Overlords named Golden Mountain and Level Mountain, respectively. The incredible techniques Luo Feng had created were ultimate techniques of Universe Masters, Golden Light, a pinnacle technique of Universe Masters, Golden Mountain, and 2 ultimate techniques of Universe Overlords, Mist and Level Mountain. Of course, these were not important compared to studying Star Tower. Although he had created 2 incredible techniques, Luo Feng was still only able to utilize the 1st level of engravings on Star Tower. As for the 2nd level, he had understood most of them, but it would still take him some time before he could utilize the 2nd level. I'm only able to use the 1st move of Star Tower, Pierce. As for the 2nd move, Smash, I might need to completely understand the 2nd level of the engravings to fully wield its power. Luo Feng dove toward his palace and continued his peaceful life. He knew it was a short moment of peacefulness before a storm came. The human race was also following Luo Feng. At the moment, Long Yang Master and Primal Chaos City Leader were talking. It's okay. Luo Feng has been staying on Redbud Island, and it's safe for him to do so. Chaos, why did you let him go out? It's safest for him to stay in Chaos City. It'll still be dangerous for him to go out of the human territory. Even in the Ancestral God School, great beings of the bug race, the demon race, the automaton race, and the Northern Territory Alliance might cooperate with each other and attack Luo Feng. I wouldn't have stopped him as he insisted on going out. He has a soul-type true treasure, and he has an incredible mind and willpower. Even if he runs into dangers he can't deal with, he can explode himself, as he has the clone technique. There's nothing to worry about. Long Yang Master was right to be concerned. The bug race, the demon race, and the automaton race had been nervous, because Luo Feng kept staying on Redbud Island. They didn't dare to send a universe master there as they would definitely be annihilated by five-color Aurora Lake. It was not worth it to sacrifice a universe master to do that. Damn it. Is that human Luo Feng going to stay on Redbud Island forever? He's been on Redbud Island for a long time, but nothing has happened. All he needs is practice, and he must be wanting to finish comprehension on Redbud Island. He has that kind of power. Though he hasn't achieved much on the Beast God path, he's almost reached the perfect level on the path of space and time, and that's why he uses the Beast God path as a reference. Perhaps he might make a breakthrough by studying different paths. We can't waste our time anymore. The longer we delay, the better it'll be for Luo Feng. All three pinnacle races got nervous. They wanted to wait for Luo Feng to leave Redbud Island by himself, but it had been 62 years. In the sky, three entities pierced through the distance in the space and arrived at a starry sky. There were three blurry, towering beings. One of them was breathtaking, and there were halos around it. The being itself could make a universe night hallucinate. A phantom of a giant oval was floating. There was another being that looked like tens of thousands of snakes, and a giant silver snake head was looking around. The sky around it was twisted into whirlpools. Dream Tea, where is Shockhorn? Said the giant black oval. I'll represent our demon race, said the silver snake's head. Their voices immediately transmitted to the other two sides, as if the original operation law was rendered useless here. Automaton, you called me and the bug race here. Both bug race Empress and I are here. Let's talk. Speak, Automaton. Okay, said the black oval. A little one named Luo Feng rose within the human race. His power's been surging fast, and there'll be another great being within the human race if we let him roam free. Besides, he has clone technique, and it'll be difficult for us to kill him in the future. We must kill him as soon as possible. Of course we must, the breathtaking being said. But how? He's in the center of Ancestral God School. Even universe masters will be killed by that five-color Aurora Lake. Besides, we'll be messing with the Ancestral God School if we send someone in and break its law. The repercussion will be more catastrophic than having another primal chaos city leader in the human race. In the original universe, the Ancestral God School is the guardian of the operation law, and nobody can outpower it. I agree with what the Empress said, the silver snake head said. We want to kill him too, but how? If none of us want to become enemies of the Ancestral God School, we just need to ask a lone universe supreme master to do our bidding, the black oval said. We're afraid because we have our race to worry about, but those lone ones don't need to worry. So what if they kill Luo Feng at the center of the Ancestral God School? Lone universe supreme masters. Both the breathtaking figure and the silver snake head were hesitant. It's going to cost a lot, the breathtaking being said. Asking a lone universe supreme master to kill a peerless genius at the center of the Ancestral God School, the silver snake head said. It'll upset both the Ancestral God School and Huge Axe. Though those lone ones don't care, it'll be costly to ask them. Each of you, give me 3 top-tier true treasures. I'll do it, the black oval said. 3 top-tier true treasures. Both the breathtaking being and silver snake head were hesitant. The breathtaking being said, even if you add 3 more top-tier true treasures, they'll be worth a pinnacle true treasure. 1 pinnacle true treasure might not be enough to convince a universe supreme master to do such things. Who are you going to ask? Sitting Mountain guest. Shahua Island leader. That's not your concern. Just give me 3 top-tier true treasures each, and I'll ask a universe supreme master to do it. If I fail, I'll give them back. I don't need to lie for those top-tier true treasure. Okay. Sure. Luo Feng's life is worth 3 top-tier true treasures. Both of them agreed. Great. The giant black oval disappeared, followed by the other 2. The sky turned peaceful again. Nobody could have known that 3 of the greatest beings in the universe had just held a conversation there. On a life planet within a domain of the human territory. A hunchbacked and green-skinned elderly human who sported an antenna on his head stood in one of the back alleys of a bustling city, addressing a drunken human youth. The green-skinned elderly human said in a hoarse voice, "My child, you are so young, so full of vitality. You have such a bright future ahead of you. Are you so void of fighting spirit to want to drink yourself into a stupor like that?" The drunken youth slouched against the wall while seated on the ground, his eyes filled with sorrow. He shook his head and said, "Hopeless. All hope is gone. I have racked my brains to think of ways to contribute my best, but they were simply too strong. In this city, they may not be the strongest, but they are still in a different league where ordinary, lower-class people like myself are defenseless. They have been trifling with my feelings, teasing me but not killing me. To them, I am just a toy." "Life is full of miracles," the green-skinned old man said hoarsely. "Nothing is unchanging. The universe is always so mysterious and unpredictable. Anything is possible." "Is that so?" The wasted youth looked at the old man, then lowered his head to indulge in his beer. The old man smiled and nodded. "Yes, anything is possible." Slightly taken aback, the youth sat in a daze, the beer bottle in his hands. The smile on the hunchbacked elderly's face widened, and within 5 short seconds, the wasted youth snapped out of his daze. He looked around with piercing eyes as sharp as an eagle. There was a vigor in him that had been absent before. Scanning his surroundings with due vigilance, he saw the ordinary back alley and the hunchbacked old man before him. His expression registered disbelief. I, he stammered. "How can I be back to where I was 100,000 years ago? I am already a sector lord. How can it? This is an illusion, but how can an illusion feel so real?" But. "My child," the hunchbacked old man started to say. You are," the youth said. He stared at the hunchbacked old man and recognized him. "You are the old man who provided me guidance back then." "Back then? Wasn't it just a little while ago?" The hunchbacked old man smiled, then vanished into thin air. The youth stood rooted to the spot for a long time. The wasted youth looked around and manipulated his willpower with his mind. Domain. His spiritual force might not be strong, but it was comparable to that of a sector lord. Under the guidance of his willpower, he managed to produce a weak, flamed domain. Really, all of this is real. Everything that happened is real. Is it true that I have cultivated up to the stage of a sector lord? But why am I back to the most painful time of my life? Have I traveled back in time? No. The youth was different from before. He had cultivated the heart of a great being. Even if I could turn back time, I would still be unable to travel to the past. That is to say, I have experienced an illusion. But what illusion is this, where I can live in it for 100,000 years? And become a sector lord? And to have comprehended part of the universe laws? Eyes widened in fear, the drunken youth looked around him and shouted repeatedly, "Senior! Senior! Senior!" However, there was no one around. The youth shook his head. "What a pity, I missed a great opportunity. If I had followed that elderly man, I think it would have been easy to become undying. This is simply unbelievable. However, I have gained quite a fair bit, too. Those bastards. I have killed you all in my illusion before. I shall let you face desperation once again." Thereafter, he left the back alley. The hunchbacked, single-horned elderly was still in the same spot. Seeing the wasted youth leaving, he smiled. From the beginning, the hunchbacked elderly had not moved an inch. However, if he wanted to be seen, he could make himself appear. If he did not want to be seen, the other party would not be able to see him. A forceful power transcended the limitless space, and suddenly landed on this planet in the back alley. The surrounding space became slightly distorted. An elliptical black sphere appeared in the back alley, and it spoke. "Stone, you are a devil master," the black sphere said. "Even universe masters fear you, and yet you are in the mood for helping this young fellow." The hunchbacked old man grinned. "If you want me to kill, I shall kill. If you want me to rescue, I shall rescue. If you want me to bestow, I shall bestow." If earlier on, in the back alley, that young fellow had knelt and pled earnestly, if he had asked to see me, I would have killed him right away. The hunchbacked old man turned to look at the elliptical black sphere and said, "Automaton, this is the human territory. What purpose does your conscious mind have for being here? There is something going on." The elliptical black sphere was hovering in mid-air. The surrounding space was very unstable. Indistinctly, the request could be heard, "I am engaging you to kill a young fellow." "Is he strong?" the hunchbacked old man said. "The human, Luo Feng," the elliptical black sphere said. "Luo Feng." The hunchbacked old man nodded. "I know that young fellow. When he just returned from Universe Ocean, news about him was widely spread and sought after. No wonder you are here. You automaton race, bug soldiers, and demons are all after him. Tell me, where is he now?" "The Ancestral God School, Redbud Island," the elliptical black sphere said. "The Ancestral God School." The old man was no longer as calm and laid back. His eyes focused on the black rays flashing faintly. "Automaton, I am not bothered about huge acts. I am happy to kill that young fellow for you. But if he is in the core grounds of the Ancestral God School, asking me to kill a candidate of theirs while he's on the grounds of the Ancestral God School is a suicide mission. I've heard that the Ancestral God School has bestowed him with valuables, which shows how much they value him. I have helped you before," the black sphere transmitted its voice from afar. "This time, we can call it quits. I owed you one." The hunchbacked elderly replied in his hoarse voice, "All right, you have my word. Tell me all the details you know about him." The power of a top-tier universe overlord's godly body would probably be comparable to the rare special life forms, and he has the talent technique of dividing bodies, the black sphere continued. Just annihilating one of his godly bodies is useless. You need to penetrate the soul, and bring all the godly bodies to complete destruction. Or you can make use of soul control. But the difficulty of using soul control is obviously much higher. Stone, you are a universe supreme master of the School of Illusions. If you are unable to succeed, then no other great being in this primal universe would be able to. "All right, I will set off now," said the old man. "I know all of you must be waiting so impatiently. I will be waiting for good news then." The elliptical black sphere replied. The two disappeared together one after the other. A slight tremor shook the surrounding space, then everything resumed normality. The ordinary humans of this city were completely unaware of everything that had just happened. In the Ancestral God's secret region, in the void space surrounding five-color Aurora Lake, an entirely black life form was standing in the void space. There was a black aura surrounding it in winding paths, enveloping his entire being. Only a pair of black eyes could be seen, albeit indistinctly. The human Luo Feng. Meriting a universe supreme master to engage another universe supreme master to kill you. You should be proud of yourself. Redbud Island. Luo Feng's mansion was designed like a Jiangnan garden, boasting features like small bridges and rivers, airy pavilions, and pagodas. Luo Feng was seated at the table of one of the pagodas, sipping wine as he pondered the beast god path. He really enjoyed the peaceful days where he could devote himself to cultivation wholeheartedly, yet he knew that in the Ancestral God School, he only appeared to be safe and sound. But as time passed, bug soldiers, demons, and the automaton race alike were losing patience. As they watched him grow continuously, how would the other three pinnacle races take it lying down? They would definitely find a way to take him down. As for him, he had the talent technique of dividing bodies, and if it was only a material attack on one of his bodies to annihilate it, they would not achieve the result they wanted. If they wanted to attack, they would definitely focus on his soul. They could either permeate his soul and perish as one with it, like how Soaring Star Master had died, or they could try controlling his soul. With his original earthling body making such an apparent appearance, Luo Feng did not dare to act rashly. The Soul-type True Treasure Tower Pearl and the Pinnacle True Treasure Force Armor were always with him. Force Armor also had the ability to weaken attacks on his soul. Most importantly, ordinary weaker kinds of Soul-type True Treasures would shatter when being attacked by other Soul-type treasures. But Tao Pearl was the core control center of Star Tower, and it could recognize its master. Even supreme true treasures could not cause it to shatter. Its defense level merely matched up to an ordinary true treasure, but it was definitely trustworthy. Tao Pearl and Force Armor, in addition to my willpower and consciousness, which were at the level of a universe master, Luo Feng calculated to himself. His massive godly body and limitless godly power had given him a powerful consciousness. Countless ordeals, changes of life and death inheritances, and 180 million years of cultivation had brought his willpower to the level of a universe master. He could count on these advantages. Luo Feng was certainly confident enough. While holding his wine glass, Luo Feng pondered the beast god path. Suddenly, he looked up at the sky and became aware that something was not quite right. The moment he looked up at the area in the sky that was enveloped by the five-color Aurora Lake, a figure surrounded by a limitless black airflow suddenly appeared. Shrouded as the figure was by the airflow, Luo Feng's view of him obscured. Only a pair of eyes could be seen. And what a pair of eyes it was. Just one look at them was enough to make Luo Feng shudder. Not good. The shudders ran deep within him, right down to his very soul, and Luo Feng understood in an instant that this was a feeling of powerlessness he had only felt in the face of Star Ancestor and Sitting Mountain Guest. It's a universe supreme being. Luo Feng realized. Intangible attacks were launched. 300 feet above Luo Feng, a gigantic crack suddenly appeared in the sky. Wrong, it was not a crack. It was an impact brought about by the collision of two spaces. All time and space in the surroundings of the figure enveloped by the black airflow fell under his control. Even the universe laws were dismissed. The figure enveloped by black airflow was in total control over everything. And similarly, the lower space was also being controlled. One up, one down, these two spaces collided at a mere 300 feet away from Luo Feng. It was a scene more frightening than the collisions of planets. When the two spaces collided with one another, the two strong powers manipulated their own space. Wherever the two spaces collided, a crack would appear. What? Luo Feng gasped. Luo Feng was stupefied. His power far surpassed that of top-tier universe overlords and was comparable to universe masters. His willpower and consciousness were also extremely strong, so he could instantly conclude that in the lower space, there was another universe supreme master. Two universe supreme masters. Fighting each other. Luo Feng was at a loss for a reaction. The skies above the five-color Aurora Lake were in a furious frenzy. It was Luo Feng's first time witnessing how turbulent the lake could become. What was happening to the vast five-color Aurora Lake was a sight resembling that of heavenly lakes collapsing in an instant. Abundant rays of light came swooping down toward the space below, surging at the black, misty figure. The black, misty figure did not budge an inch. Instead, a furious roar of rage was heard. Ancestor God, the figure roared. Are you going to stop me? Virtual Real Devil Master, a booming voice replied. This is the territory of my Ancestral God school. Ancestral God. Luo Feng looked to where the voice came from. A being flew up from an ordinary palace close to his palace. It was a great being of another race that was dozens of feet tall and had 6 arms. He was in human form with thick legs, but he had a face on each side of his head. The face at the front looked amiable with a smile, yet the one at the back was dark and fierce. Each of his 6 arms was grasping a short stick, and there were 4 sections on each stick, making them look like parrying daggers from earth. 3 of the parrying daggers were black while the other 3 were white, and power flowed around each parrying dagger. Ancestral God is living beside me. Luo Feng was started. He had been practicing on Redbud Island for 62 years, and hadn't known that the Ancestral God was living beside him until now. The amiable face of Ancestral God looked at the sky, and his voice was transmitted from the space and time under his control to the space and time under Virtual Real Devil Master's control. Virtual Real Devil Master, get out, he said. I'll pretend that you were never here. Ha ha. It's Doubleface Ancestral God, said Virtual Real Devil Master. You dare to be so arrogant in front of me? Humph. I've never given a damn about your so-called Ancestral God school, and I always go wherever I want. Who can stop me? I'll kill that human Luo Feng today, and you won't be able to stop me. The space and time controlled by the being in the black mist were pushed down after his gloating. The power from the space and time controlled by Devil Master was stronger. Doubleface Ancestral God looked up, and the space under his control also surged. When the two universe spaces clashed against each other, the five-color Aurora Lake started to launch attacks. All the auroras shrank and merged together, forming a golden pillar. The universe space controlled by Virtual Real Devil Master was slashed as if there were a gully. No wonder it's a supreme true treasure. Luo Feng looked up and was awed. That universe space is completely under the control of Virtual Real Devil Master, and even universe operation law has backed off. It's more incredible than the control on time and space by universe masters, and it's still powerless under a supreme true treasure. The golden pillar dashed down, and a dark space gully extended toward Virtual Real Devil Master. Virtual Real Devil Master suddenly looked up, and black mist permeated. Five-color Aurora Lake. Scram. Virtual Real Devil Master roared, and armor appeared that trembled the surrounding space. It was a mysterious suit of armor with blood stains on it. The armor integrated with each inch of the sky of Virtual Real Devil Master. A dark hollow that was more than 30 square feet appeared. The golden pillar kept bombarding Virtual Real Devil Master, but the armor withstood it. Each inch of the space sparked like fireworks. The universe space controlled by Virtual Real Devil Master crumbled into particles, yet the space controlled by the Ancestral God was stable. Luo Feng saw Virtual Real Devil Master clearly. Virtual Real Devil Master fell a little bit, and the golden pillar was dissipated. Ha ha ha. I have a supreme true treasure to protect me. Virtual Real Devil Master said. Nobody in the universe oceans can kill me. Let alone you, Doubleface Ancestral God. He followed this sentiment by recklessly roaring, universe space, break. The being in black mist dove, and his right foot stamped and ground. His right foot wore an ancient boot, which obviously was a component of a supreme true treasure. The ancient boot twisted the time and space under its impact. The flow of time was in disorder, and space was cracked. The space controlled by Ancestral God was also cracked, as he wasn't able to resist that attack. Virtual Real Devil Master, you're being outrageous. Doubleface Ancestral God switched faces. The dark black face moved to the forefront and glared at Virtual Real Devil Master. He roared in anger and flew up. Each of his arms was carrying a parrying dagger. With the daggers being waved, 3 black airflows and 3 white airflows were formed. They were combined and formed a complex black and white airflow picture. The picture gushed, and the right foot stamped down. The moment they touched, the power of the supreme true treasure Virtual Real Devil Master was carrying and the power all the 6 pinnacle true treasures carried by Ancestral God was merged. The attacking ability of the protection, true treasure Virtual Real Devil Master had was only an accessory, and the attacking power of it was not much different from the true treasures Ancestral God had. Virtual Real, get the hell out. All 6 arms of Doubleface Ancestral God waved, and the attacks from each parrying dagger overlaid with each other, making them more powerful. The universe spaces controlled by them were trembling. Luo Feng could feel the space around him trembling. He wanted secretly to run away. However, it was safest for him to stay in the time and space controlled by Ancestral God. Besides, 2 universe supreme masters were fighting, and the space and time controlled by them were unstable. He wasn't able to leave using God country transportation. I can't even run away, he thought. There's a universe supreme master trying to kill me. Luo Feng gazed at the fight between the 2 universe supreme masters in the sky. Although the fight only affected the spaces controlled by them, the spaces were sometimes dismantled and became particles. And sometimes, the particles gathered again. He could feel how terrific it was. Virtual Real Devil Master was using a supreme true treasure. Ancestral God was using 6 black and white parrying daggers. Perhaps Universe Masters could be killed. Virtual Real Devil Master, don't blame me. 5-color Aurora Lake. Ancestral God roared. 5-color Aurora Lake, which had been only partly utilized, immediately shrank. It was the guarding true treasure of the Ancestral God School that covered several square light years. But now, it was shrinking. All the auroras shrank to the size of rice grains, then formed a giant, 5-colored blade. Cut. The 5-color giant blade slashed down. The 6 parrying blades slashed at Virtual Real Devil Master again. Damn Ancestral God. Damn you. Virtual Real Devil Master bellowed. He needed to defend himself from attacks from the 5-colored giant blade and the 6 parrying daggers from Ancestral God at once. He wasn't able to handle them at the same time, and got hit several times, which consumed his godly body. You're pushing me. Virtual Real Devil Master raised his head and roared. Arth? The space around him cracked. Ancestral God bounced away. The giant blade couldn't get close. Neither Ancestral God nor the 5-colored giant blade could get close, and the force from Virtual Real Devil Master was inconceivably strong, which stunned Luo Feng, who was watching down there. Rumor had it that Universe Supreme Masters were restricted by the Universe operation, and thus, they could only show power that was slightly stronger than Universe Masters. How could they be that strong? Neither Ancestral God nor the Supreme True Treasure could get close. Virtual Real Devil Master, this is the original universe. Ancestral God shouted. YA. Virtual Real Devil Master looked omnipotent. He disregarded the 5-color giant blade and dove down. At the same time, a golden chain showed up in the space, and it bound the arm of Virtual Real Devil Master, making it difficult for him to hit down. No. Virtual Real Devil Master was terrified. Another green chain extended from space and entangled the other arm of Virtual Real Devil Master. A navy blue chain extended from space. Chains continued to come out of space, bearing down Virtual Real Devil Master. Damn it. Virtual Real Devil Master roared, exasperated. However, his force got weaker and weaker, and the chains stopped giving out power as he grew weaker. Virtual Real Devil Master looked down. Double-face Ancestral God, this is the original universe. You're not my match in Universe Ocean. Double-face Ancestral God looked up. Unfortunately for you, you're in the original universe now. Each of us 3 Ancestral Gods can outpower you. In the original universe, nobody can challenge us. We're the guardians of Universe Operation Law, and we're given grace by the universe origin. Give up. Do you want to challenge the universe origin? Virtual Real Devil Master glared down. Double-face Ancestral God glared up. Good, Virtual Real Devil Master snorted. You'll learn the consequences in Universe Ocean. We never go to Universe Ocean, said Double-face Ancestral God. Virtual Real Devil Master clenched his teeth. The Ancestral God School couldn't roam the Universe Ocean, but it was sitting in the crown in the original universe. Little one, said Virtual Real Devil Master. He glanced at Luo Feng, who was in shock. You got lucky today. Virtual Real Devil Master surged much faster than light. He broke out of the 5-color Aurora Lake and disappeared. The shattered universe space went back to being peaceful, and nothing on Redbud Island was damaged. Other candidates only felt the space trembling. They had no idea what had just happened. Luo Feng stared at the sky. Both Ancestral God and Virtual Real Devil Master had disappeared. Then Luo Feng heard the voice of Ancestral God. Come here, Luo Feng. This video will end here.